Decision to use autobomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. In 1939, the Second World War was started by Germany in an unprovoked attack on Poland. Britain and France declared war on Germany after Hitler had refused to abort his invasion of Poland. Allied forces included Soviet Union, America, Britain, and France. Against Axis forces included Germany, Italy, and Japan. During World War II, Japan refused to surrender unconditionally, so U.S. President Truman had to decide whether to send more American troops to fight Japan or to drop the atomic bomb to defeat the Japanese and to end World War II. If Truman commits to sending more American troops to Japan, then more American lives would be lost in the fight against the Japanese. Since the Japanese were determined not to surrender unconditionally, American troops would have to continue fighting the Japanese military for a long time, which would ultimately prolong World War II. Why did the Allies want Japan to surrender unconditionally in the first place? The Allies, US, Britain, France, and Soviet Union wanted Japan to surrender unconditionally, meaning that Japan could not keep its military forces or its current government. The Allies were not willing to negotiate any terms with Japan. America also wanted to revenge for the Pearl Harbor attack, essentially. The Allies wanted to make sure Japan would never become powerful again to prevent Japan from entering future wars. Why did the Japanese not want to surrender unconditionally? For most of World War II, Japan refused unconditional surrender because they feared that they would become powerless without a military and that emperor would be unprotected. Surrender was dishonorable to the Japanese. The Japanese military believed in the code of Bushido, or the way of the warrior, and so the Japanese military would rather sacrifice their life before surrendering. Also, they believed the emperor was divine, similar to a god. They felt it was their duty to protect the emperor at all costs, and surrendering to the Allies was not an option. This is the Emperor of Japan. Manhattan Project. Since America knew the Japanese would not surrender easily, America began working on a top-secret Manhattan Project that would create the world's first autobomb. President Truman realized that to get the Japanese to surrender quickly and end World War II quickly, it would be easier for America to use a new autobomb technology against Japan. Truman did not want any more American lives to be lost fighting the Japanese, so he did not want to send more American troops to invade Japan. Decision made. Instead, President Truman decided to drop 2 autobombs on Japan so no more American soldiers would die, and Japan would quickly agree to surrender unconditionally. This is B-29 about to drop autobomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. The US dropped its first autobomb, Little Boy, on the Japanese city called Hiroshima on August 6, 1945. This is the little bomb. Little boy. It exploded to the ground. This is the city were completely destroyed after 3 days later, on August 9, 1945, the U.S. dropped the second autobomb, Fat Man, on Japanese city Nagasaki. This is the Fat Man autobomb. It exploded to the ground. The city were completely destroyed after the bomb. Aftermath. No American lives were lost when dropping the autobomb on Japan, but thousands of innocent Japanese civilians died. The Japanese people faced many illness, burn, and injury due to the radiation of the autobombs. Japan agreed to unconditionally surrender to the Allies. To this day, Japan has no official military. World War II ended in August 1945.